Hey, what's going on, you guys? Today we're going to do the very first movie review of the channel. We're going to be reviewing the movie Titanic. Pretty good movie, James Cameron movie, came out in 1997. It has a cast full of stars. It has Kathy Bates plays unsinkable Molly Brown. It has Kate Winslet, Jack Dawson. I said Jack Dawson. That's his character's name. Leonardo DiCaprio, Billy Zane. A bunch of other characters too that are famous and stuff. So it tells the story of the Titanic. As we all know, all about the Titanic had the very tragic ending of hitting an iceberg and breaking in half and going under and everything, and then also not having enough lifeboats for all its passengers and lifeboats not being filled to capacity. Majority of people on the ship died and all that. And really only the people that did survive were mainly first class people and just the discrimination stuff on the ship. We all know that. It's the most famous ship sinking in history. It initially is. So, we'll basically just get off to the beginning of the movie. Before I do that, I just want to say I am going to be reviewing A Night to Be Remembered. It's an old movie that came out in the 50s. It's before Titanic. Titanic is very similar. It's also about the Titanic. It's mainly just about the night. It doesn't have a romantic. So before I start going into what the movie starts out is, I just want to explain the movie. So it is the tale of the Titanic, about the ship sinking and all that, and passenger stuff that happened on the ship. But James Cameron also had a romantic thing in it, and I will be totally honest, I hate romance movies. I despise them. This is probably the only romantic romance movie that I actually think is a good movie, and that comes from a lot. I really don't think I think they all suck, all the ones I've seen. But yeah, this is a really good movie. So we'll start with how the movie starts. So the movie starts out with actual real footage of the Titanic when it first sailed off in 1912, and then we get real footage of the actual sunken Titanic when it was discovered. James Cameron went down there and recorded of the actual Titanic. And then it goes up to the fake scenes with Mr. Lovett. And he's a guy, he's trying to find the Hope Diamond, which was lost in the heart of the ocean, which is more expensive than the Hope Diamond, apparently, in the movie for the fake part. This is the fake part of the movie. They're searching the ship, they're looking for stuff. They find the safe that was apparently belonged to the guy that had it, Jack, or not Jack, sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm terrible at this, the guy that, Cal is his name, was the guy that apparently had it. They pulled the safe out, diamond wasn't in there, but they did find this really old interesting drawing with a girl with a diamond on her neck. So, initially, it's just talking and stuff about it, and a fail. Well, we go to this old lady, really old lady, 101 years old, really old lady. She hears it on the TV. She's making a claymation butt. She hears on the TV about that they've discovered the Titanic and they're looking for the diamond. And she calls Mr. Lovett and she asks him if he hadn't found out of the ocean yet. Well, she goes in and turns out it's her. It's the woman in the picture. Rose Dawson, Rose DeWippicator, was her in the picture when she was young. She was on the Titanic. She was one of the few survivors of the Titanic. Not in real life, in the movie. I just want to make that clear that she's one of the majority of the characters in the movies are real, but she is one of the few fictional characters. So she talks for them a little bit. She ends up telling the story. She goes, "It's been 84 years," and he goes, "Just try to remember." She goes, "Do you want to hear the story or not?" She says, "It's been 84 years." And she can still smell the fresh paint. And then it flashes back. We go back in time to 1912. And it shows the Titanic when it was first being launched. Everyone was loading up on the ship. Passengers were going on and luggage and stuff was being put on it. It was being fueled and all that, getting ready to set sail. And it shows a young girl getting out. Oh, and it's Rose. Very pretty. Kate Winslet got a beautiful girl in this movie. Beautiful actress. They choose the right look for her. She gets out of the car, wearing a hat, and it's just the old lady talking about how she's anything a well-brought-up girl could be. Inside she's screaming, and outside she looked happy, inside she was screaming. She goes in, she's riding on the ship with her fiance, Cal, and her mother. They go on the ship, and then we get this scene where first-class passengers are being discriminated, which actually was true. They had to have all their luggage checked, and they had to get checked for lights and stuff, which is just discrimination. If you're going to do that to third class and second class, you should be doing that to the first class as well. Well, that's the discrimination that used to happen on ships. And airplanes and all that, but that's a different topic. I'm not going to get into that movie review. But, initially, yeah, a lot of discrimination. It goes into this bar. Oh, they're playing a, game, like a card game, and introduces Jack and Habriple. I think I'm saying his name right. I can't say the one character's name. They're playing against these two. They win the bet. What do they get? 2 Titanic tickets. Right, ship's leaving. They're able to jump on. It's Leonardo DiCaprio's character, Jack Dawson. They're on the ship, and they go around the ship, and they, talk and everything. Then you hear, it's the ship horn going off. The ship sets sails, it goes off. More stuff happens. The girl, they talk about Picasso paintings in the room, and just basic stuff. I mean, and Cal says, you can tell by Cal, he's a real dickhead. He's like this controlling guy, and he's a lot older than her. She's 16 years old, and well, not in real life. In the movie, she's supposed to be 16, and this guy's like in his late 30s, maybe in early 40s, just like how it used to be, an arranged marriage. But yeah, initially it talks more about that and Jack, and then it talks about in Cherbourg they get another ship to come over, a little ship, and that's when we meet the unsinkable Molly Brown, my favorite character in the movie, played by one of the greatest actresses of all time, Kathy Bates. Making a video about her, why she's cool too. But that's what the movie is by this part, or Inside She Was Screaming. Then it's just Rose sitting there at a first class dinner table, all depressed, like basically like one of her life's gonna be yachts and just trapped. So she goes to run to the back of the ship to commit suicide. She's gonna jump off the back of the ship to free herself. That's when she meets Jack, and they have a little bit of a conversation. He introduces himself, and you jump, I jump. He says, "Here, give me your hand. I'll help you back over." She almost slips and falls, but he helps her back over. And some workers on the ship find him, and they think that he was trying to sexually assault her or, harm her because he had taken his clothes off. He was on top of her, and her dress thing was lifted up a little bit. But it wasn't true. She was trying to help him. He was going to get arrested on the ship, and Cal was yelling at him, but she said no, that he was trying to save her because she said she was looking over to try to see one of the and Cal said the propeller. So yeah, Cal offers her 20. She says, "My love to you worth more than that." So Cal invites him to dinner for the next night. Initially, then we get the scene where we get to see the necklace that's being looked for. Cal puts it around Rose's neck, and he says that he'll do anything for her if she'd marry him. Then we get to the next scene where Jack and Rose are talking. You can see instant chemistry, that they love each other. You just can. That they're in love and they think each other's cute and all that. You just see the chemistry. Initially, it talks more. They're talking about what they love to do. She looks at Jack's painting and says, "You're very talented." Just a couple other things. And then Jack teaches her how to spit. He's spitting. He's got spit on his mouth. That's when Rose's mom comes around. Now this lady is a total B word. She's walking with Molly Brown. She's talking to Rose, charming. We get a overcast by the old lady, and the old lady says that the others were interested in him, but Mother seen him as a bug, a big venomous, ugly bug that needed to be smashed as quickly as possible. But then they walk off. She says, "Mother, it's time to get ready for dinner." Kathy Bates' character goes, "Son, do you know what you got yourself into?" Because Kathy Bates was originally poor. The unsinkable Molly Brown, read her story, she was poor, but her husband struck a gold mine, and they became rich. So she gave him her son's suit. They go in together. He's kind of struggling, but yeah, it's just a dinner conversation. It's interesting. It's not what I'd say a party was at all either. So Jack actually says to Rose, "Oh, do you want to go to a real party?" And just before we go to the next part, it says that there are a lot of characters in this scene that were real. The unspeakable Molly Brown, Mr. Andrews, the man who invented the ship, I can't think of his name, Bruce Ismay, Mr. Ismay, the captain of the ship, the richest man on the ship, I can't remember his name, Mr. Guggenheim. All these people, they were like actual real characters. That some of them died, some of them survived. I just want to put that out there. They were real characters. Rose and Jack were the fake ones. But then posted the next scene. Jack hands Rose a little paper. They meet her at the staircase. He takes her to a real party. They party down there. They're drinking. They dance together. Have a real party. Cal sends Lovejoy down to find her. Lovejoy tells him. Cal freaks out on Rose. He flips the table, yells at her, and makes Rose upset. And then Rose cleans it up, a mess. And it's just Cal being a dickhead. Then Rose's mom talks to her and says, It's your father left us with nothing but a good name, and blah blah blah. You know, it's still an entertaining movie. But yeah, it just goes on and on. You can tell Cal's going to be a very controlling husband. Most husbands were back then, but you can tell Cal's going to be very controlling. Initially, Jack tries finding Rose because he's in love with her. He tries telling her. Rose says, "No, I can't. I'm going to marry Cal." Well, what happens is she changed her mind, and she ends up going with Jack. They do "I'm flying" scene, where that's the most famous scene in the movie, with her standing on the front of the ship going "I'm flying." Then it pans over. He goes back to the modern day, and the old lady says that was the last time Titanic ever saw daylight, because this is the day before the Titanic sinks, dusk before the Titanic sinks. Rose and Jack are having fun on the ship. Jack actually draws Rose naked with nothing but the heart of the ocean on. They run from Lovejoy. Lovejoy's Cal's assistant / security guard, whatever. They run from him. Rose and Jack end up in the bottom of the ship. They end up making love and end up having sex with each other, sleeping with each other, whatever you want to call it. You can tell they have real chemistry. They run out of thing. They're in love. They kiss a couple times. You can just feel they're really in love. Well, initially, this is when we get into a realistic part of the story again, and one of the most tragic parts. The shipmen, they see an iceberg. They see an iceberg right ahead. They do everything they can. They turn the ship as fast as they can and all that. Ultimately, hits the iceberg. Unfortunately, the ship was going too fast, and at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about why the Titanic sunk and stuff. But yeah, it hits the bottom. You can see where Jack and Rose just made love with each other is already flooded, already busted and flooded. People were wondering what the shutter was and why the ship stopped. So Mr. Andrews gets called to the captain. The captain wants to know what happened. They told him hit an iceberg. He says shut all the watertight doors. It's already shut. Mr. Andrews does a study. He asks what's underwater already, and he says the ship will be sunk within an hour or two, maybe a little longer. And the captain says, what about the pumps? The water pumps will pump it out, but he said that will buy you minutes only. It will not buy you hours or anything. So the captain signals for the distress call, and the California said they could be there within 4 hours. So and the ship's going to go down within an hour, maybe two, and it's going down fast. You can tell it already is, and there's not enough lifeboats, which I'll talk more about that at the end of the review. Jack and Rose are fighting. Cal hits Rose for being with Jack. Jack actually gets the heart of the ocean put in his pocket to say he stole it when he didn't. It was the scum. The Cal was being a scumbag. He had Lovejoy do that. Jack gets taken down to the bottom. They're getting people on lifeboats. Rose refuses to get in. She refuses to get in. Cal grabs her and she spits right in his face. Her mom wants her to come in. Her mom, you can tell, regrets being mean to her. Rose runs off to find Jack. Rose has to find Mr. Andrews. Mr. Andrews tells her where they get people arrested at. Lovejoy had been down there. He had punched Jack in the thing and left him down there to flood. It had already flooded. Rose went down there in cold water to free him. She ends up getting an axe. She ends up freeing him. They end up escaping. Well, it shows the thing about how third class passengers were locked down to the bottom. And I don't know if that's true or not. I really don't. I know that I've heard tons of things on YouTube and stuff that it was true that third class passengers were locked in there. I've also heard that was a totally false initiative. If anyone can let me know in the comment section that actually knows, I really don't know, so I can't comment on that. I've heard both. I've also heard that they've already third class flooded a lot faster than what both movies described. But if someone can let me know in the comments, I'd really appreciate that. Yeah, because I really don't know, because I've seen so many videos saying that was not true, but then I've also seen so many videos saying it was true. So initially, yeah, they're fighting with third class. They end up busting through. The third class passengers get up. It's really sad to see, these people are going to die. It's just sad. They get up there. And Cal says, there's a boat for arranged for me and Jack. You get in now. She gets in. She can't get in. She loves Jack too much. She jumps back on the boat. Kind of crazy. She tries jumping off the Titanic when it's not sinking, and she jumps back on when it's sinking. But yeah, they love each other. It's just, you're so stupid. Jack tries killing them. There's actually, with the Lovejoy's gun, there's actually an extended scene on that, but I'm not going to cover that. It really doesn't make the dialogue. I'm actually glad James Cameron took that out of the movie. It's just the ship going down, everyone going up, which actually kind of made the ship go down faster if you think about it. We'll talk about that more in the end. Everyone going up and running and stuff to the top of the ship. It's got some drama. This is the part of the movie I don't like. Mr. Murdoch is, Will Murdoch is, to be painted as a villain when he was not, because they had him shoot two people in the movie. He did not. From the stories I've read and what I've heard on YouTube and stuff, that he actually went down as a hero, fitting as many people in lifeboats as possible. He was one of the people pointing out you should film him. I will talk more about in the ending. because they weren't filling the lifeboats. They were only putting 12, 15 people in lifeboats that could fit up to 70 people. So, I just think a lot of lives could have been saved. Well, initially, Chow tries paying him off. Mr. Ismay does get in. Just, stupid stuff. Not stupid stuff, but just not huge plots for the movie. Although it did happen. Bruce Ismay got in, and Cal was able to sneak in with the boat by pretending a child was his. Mr. Murdoch ends up shooting somebody, killing himself. That part of the movie was totally false. It was one of the false parts of the movies. It's just running the ship. It's Jack and Rose saying, "I'll never let go," and like they're holding on the ship. This is amazing. It's the best part. Or they're going under, or on the ship. Now I will talk about this. I'm gonna talk about this now. And at the end, there was a scene where the captain and Mr. Andrews and a crew member are yelling for boat 6 to come back. That was about Kathy Bates' character. Molly Brown was on, and Rose's mom was on. And in real life, they did go back, but in the movie, they didn't go back. Of course, this scene was not included. It was deleted. I wish it would have been included. Molly Brown, Kathy Bates' character, really just said there's plenty more room. And now in real life, she actually did go back, but in the movie, they didn't include the scene where she wasn't able to go back. She fought for it, but wasn't able to. Night to Be Remembered one, they did go back, but yeah, that was that. I just want to mention that. I'll talk about that more in the end. It's just the ship. It's amazing. It shows the ship literally going down, and then it shows the ship going down and then breaking, and then the other half bobbing there just for a minute. And it shows another part, or just shows everyone up at the top of the ship. People are falling. It's scary. Then it actually shows the ship after it's broken going down. All the people that were in the water there, it killed them. It was so sad that it actually happened in real life too. But yeah, it's Rose again. Actually, another part I'm going to include, because you see the chef, and the cook was on the very top of the ship. Now, if many people don't know the story, it was talked about more in the 1953 movie, Not to Be Remembered. There was a cook that got himself, or a chef, whatever you want to call it, that got himself drunk. He got himself really drunk that night as the ship was going down. He was actually throwing stuff off the ship to try to make it lighter, so it would stay up longer, but he got really drunk. He ended up surviving. I think he died in 1940, so he ended up living because he was in the water floating, and he was one of the last people standing on top of the ship. There was actually a scene showing him drinking an entire bottle of vodka and throwing stuff off the ship. They took that out. I wish they would have included that. But yeah, the ship goes down under. They're in the water. Jack and Rose have one last kiss and one last little talk. Unfortunately, Jack ends up dying in the freezing water. Majority of the people die in the water. It's really sad. Rose is able to escape. One boat comes back out of 20. Only one comes back. Rose and one other person, which is Rose and 2 other people. They only show one, and comes back. I wish they would have shown the chef getting rescued from the water, but they didn't. I think because that really happened in real life. They just didn't show that there was a scene, but they deleted it. But initially they go back, and you hear the old lady's voice again. The old lady, old Rose, is saying, and that we just waited. She said 1 boat out of 20 came back and all that. And she says, we just waited. Everyone waited to live, wait to die. It played the sad Celine Dion music, the theme song of it a little bit. It was just really sad. And it showed the Carpania. That part was deleted, but it showed Rose on the Carpania, and Jack came, or not Jack, Cal came to her, or to another redhead, and thought it was Rose. It wasn't, and so that was the last time I ever seen him. She said that he put a pistol in his mouth in 29, she heard. And the deleted scene, the extended scene, it said that his kids fought over his $1 million estate because he got married afterwards. But yeah, it was sad. Wasn't sad. He was a real jerk, but yeah, it's just really terrible. Oh, it actually shows Mr. Ismay walking by. They deleted this scene too, I think. I don't remember if they deleted it or not. And all the families looking at him like, you ordered the ship to go faster, and you potentially killed both our fathers or our mothers and stuff. It was just really sad. And then we pay him back. The diamond has ultimately not been found. Well, you see Rose walking to the end of the ship, old Rose, and she had the diamond the whole time. She throws it in the ocean. Now, originally the ending was going to be Mr. Lovett and her granddaughter seeing them, and they were trying to stop her, and he gets to touch it and throws it in the ocean. But it was a much happier ending, but they decided not to include that. I guess they had to cut the time down a little bit. I wish they would have included that too. But yeah, she throws it in the ocean. Then it just plays sad music. And there's the question, did she die in the movie? Because you have the sad music and all that, but it shows her going back in time. She goes back in time. She's on the Titanic at 2:40 a.m. when the ship sinks. And he said it has Mr. Andrews, the Irish guy, everybody there that she liked and everything. And then she just, Molly Brown, and then Jack's at the top of the staircase. He hugs her and they kiss. And That's the end of the movie, and it's really sad. Now that the movie's over, I just want to say a couple things about what I think would I have done differently in the movie. First, I want to rank it 10 out of 10 movie still. James Cameron, you did amazing. All the actors and actresses did amazing. Amazing script, 10 out of 10 movie. I think it really did a great story for portraying the Titanic. Heck, there are some things that I would have done differently. I think they should have included the Molly Brown scene and the chef scene. I also think they should have included that's the Molly Brown scene. I think they should have included the Mr. Andrews who was trying to get more boats filled. That's what I would have done differently, and I would have not had Mr. Murdoch been the villain, one of the villains. I would have had him been the good guy, what he really was, filling the boats. He was the only one out of all of them filling boats. That's all I would have included. And then I would have done the ending differently. I would have included the original ending. That's what I would have done, where they get to see and it's much happier and stuff. But yeah, that's how the movie ended. It was a 10 out of 10 movie. Now, before I go, I just want to say the Titanic is a really tragic story. I decided I'm going to make a video about the Titanic, this actual story. It's just really sad. So many people's lives could have been saved. For one, because they could have filled every lifeboat to the maximum, but they didn't. And then there are many people floating in the water. None of the lifeboats come back. Only one went back. A lot of people died because of that. But the main reason why so many people died is because there weren't enough lifeboats. There should have been enough lifeboats. In fact, I think it's a law now, but I think every ship should have enough lifeboats plus 100 extra on rafts and stuff too to make sure. But yeah, and ultimately, it was the main reason. Two things: Bruce Ismay was really urging for the ship to go faster, and the captain shouldn't have listened. The captain should have said, "No, I know what I'm doing. It's not safe with these icebergs out here," because they were warned by multiple other ships, multiple different times, that there were icebergs everywhere. Be careful, and they didn't take the warnings. The captain listened to Bruce Ismay and didn't pay attention to the warnings and went faster. So not only were they not paying attention, they were also going really fast, and they hit the iceberg. So to all the people that died on the Titanic, rest in peace. To all the people that were harmed, just rest in peace, because everyone's passed away from the Titanic. And if anyone has family out there that has died on the Titanic, rest in peace. And to the submarine thing that just happened, all your families, rest in peace. To them, rest in peace, and your families, I pray for you, and I hope you get better. But just a really tragic story. I'm going to do some more research on the Titanic, the actual ship sinking, and then in a few days or a week or so, I'm going to make a video about it. That's it for this movie review. Thank you guys for tuning in to watch. Please like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe for more. Thanks, guys. I'm out of here.